Let me tell you about my World War II hero, my dad, Harold Hogue. Dad served in the 101st Airborne Artillery Division. He fought in Normandy and Omaha Beach with the 10th Armored Artillery Division. After surviving Normandy and Omaha Beach, he was en route to the Battle of the Bulge in Bastogne, Belgium. There was fierce fighting. Dad was in Saarland, Germany, when he was wounded by shrapnel behind the right ear with the bullet exiting through his neck. He was sent to an army base in England where he worked as a barber. After recovery, Dad and a buddy were sightseeing. They toured Sherwood Forest, Buckingham Palace, and other places of interest. On returning to the base, Dad was struck by a speeding truck. He was taken to a hospital for a wound on his leg that required several stitches. No one thought of his previous head injury. His leg was stitched up and he was returned to the army base. Later that night, he was taken into emergency surgery for his head injury. He passed away during surgery from a cerebral hemorrhage. The last time we were all together, I was a little over a year old, and I have no memory of my dad except picture memories. My mom and I lived with my grandparents after Dad left to go to Europe. When I was about 4 or 5, I can remember asking her that, why don't I have a dad? And she would try to answer, but it didn't answer my question. But my Uncle Jack was very close. We lived with my grandparents and him. So he was like a father figure to me. I loved him dearly.
Growing up, how did you know about your grandfather? What
Just stories that had been passed down from her family members.
From Uncle Jack.
To us. Yeah, from Uncle Jack, but also from the Hogue side of the family.
Yeah.
That's all the stories that Mom knew about her dad was from the family stories.
I'm Diane Height. I'm the founder of Forever Young Veterans. And I met Nadine at a Bible study. I was invited to come and speak at Jerry and Joan Brasher's home. And so I was talking about us going back to Belgium, where the Battle of the Bulge was fought. And so she told me that her dad was wounded there. We began a conversation, and so that's how it all began.
This past March, I received a phone call from Diane offering me the opportunity to join her and the Forever Young Veterans on a World War II Battle of the Bulge 80th anniversary trip to Bastogne. I was offered a spot in honor of Dad.
We had never had anyone like Nadine before, where her daddy had been wounded, and we had the space. And I told her, I said, I'll raise the money for you to go. I did not want her to pay. And I said, come with us. And so I expected her to say no. I did, because we've asked other family members for different reasons, but they never would go. And so I thought she probably won't go either. But she immediately said yes. And the next thing I know, we have 3 daughters coming too, which was awesome, because that is just more healing for Nadine to be able to share that with her children.
On our trip to Germany and Belgium, we traveled with 8 veterans ranging from 98 to 101 years old.
What was so beautiful about it, just the relationship that they had with the veterans, they immediately took them under their wing, because in the veterans' minds, they belonged to them, and they were very close.
Well, actually, just being with all of those veterans, That was healing. I loved it. Dad would be around that age, and maybe he'd act like that, because I have no idea.
I'm going to tell you, it was on day 2 of our trip, and we cried. We'd cry on the bus. We would cry after visiting a museum. Tears would roll down. We'd talk about some. Tears would roll down on our faces, and Diane said, "We're just getting started."
And it was.
And it was. Every day, even though it didn't necessarily pertain to where my grandfather was wounded, it was still emotional because of the vets that were there and what they went through on a daily basis while they were fighting for our freedom. Just incredible.
Alan Kinder was the veteran that was going with Nadine and her girls. And he called me after we got back, and he was emotional, and he was crying. And I'd never seen him like that. And he said, "I just want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of Nadine's journey." He said, "That was the highlight of my life."
You need an arm? Here, let me hold this. Grab my arm. And you got a hand.
I got this one's the strongest.
Peace, fulfillment, I think joy. I think Nadine could feel her dad there, and she had a peace that she had not ever had before. That was my first impression.
This is the forest where Dad was. He always talked about in his letters how beautiful it was. And one day he hoped to bring Mom and me here. Diane had a small American flag, an 8x10 photo of Dad, and 4 white roses for us to leave. I was overwhelmed with tears of joy.
To walk in the steps where he walked,
Yeah.
even though we didn't physically know him, we know him in our hearts.
Words cannot express the feelings that we're having at this moment. We're so grateful and appreciative.
We were emotional, all of us.
Yeah.
They wanted to record something that I would say, and I could not think of anything. I couldn't think my name,
Yeah.
and tears rolling, and I couldn't do it. This experience is difficult to put into words, the emotions I felt. Thank you, Diane Height and Larry Netter. A truly incredible trip, and I will cherish it forever.